Now, I know that there's a couple of questions that a few of our panelists, participants have asked. So I'm just going to quickly throw the questions at you just before we wrap up. So someone mentioned earlier, how can we have a fixed balance sheet in public sector as there are benefits and profits that can't be calculated?
Extremely difficult. And the trouble is that profit is a deceptively simple measure. And Capita, I'm not going to criticise Capita, hugely successful organisation, but they didn't tolerate losses for very long. They didn't invest for a long-term future. And I think that's a weakness. So when you come into the public sector and you're saying, well, what difference does my organisation make? You can't measure it by profit, but you can compare with other organisations. How much does it cost to deal with a similar case in a different organisation with a different style of support? If you think about criminal justice, how does a custodial sentence measure up against a probation order? You don't have to secure someone, lock them up for so many months, which costs a fortune. And what's the purpose of that? Are we punishing them or are we rehabilitating? So unless we've got clear objectives of what it is we're trying to do, and some performance measures of how do we know whether we've achieved it or not, I think we're wasting our time. And in the public sector, there are lots of examples of where we have relied on performance measures that may not be very good. The Tony Blair government said, if you can't measure it, it's not important. And I just don't agree with that. How do you measure loyalty? How do you measure the love you have for your family? Is it 7 out of 10? It's just nonsense. So I think the public sector, I think it's a really good question and probably the hardest question to answer in the public service.